showers. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into Weather Extra. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. In a very unsettled pattern that we're in across the region, we have one of those setups where we have some very shallow cold air that's made its way into the southeast, and where that air is cold enough to support frozen precipitation, we're seeing the type of sleet and also freezing rain. That cold air is very shallow, so you end up not with snow, you end up with ice developing, and that's what's happening just north and west of us. One of the big weather stories close to home that we're going to show you. We're going to be on the wetter side of this thing, so not expecting any ice for us, but we are going to have more showers on the way. Between now and Thursday, there's going to be periods of showers. It's going to stay gloomy, cloudy, but there's certainly going to be some impacts out there. Let's get you over to First Alert AccuTrack radar, and temperature-wise, notice to the north we're also seeing some 50s. What's going to happen next few days is we'll see that colder air slowly settle in, and to the north we'll have temperatures in the 40s. Further south you go, we'll have temperatures close to 60 degrees. There's going to be quite the gradient by Wednesday that sets up across the state, but it will be noticeably colder. Looking at the radar right now, though, a lot of what you see not necessarily reaching the ground, but there will be some showers that will start to reach the surface. Some of these areas back in here to the west, you can see some of that rain developing. Back to the northwest, these are ice storm warnings. Look at that, stretching from Arkansas back in across Tennessee. So if you had travel plans in this direction, some of those advisories less than 70 miles from Marion County here, but we do not expect any icy weather for our northwest counties. That's all going to stay north of us. Here's what we expect: a dreary pattern. We could have some dense fog in a few areas tonight. Those showers certainly possible. Scattered showers tomorrow and Wednesday. There will be some in-between periods. There will be some breaks. It's going to be cold by Wednesday, especially north. Places like Hamilton and Coleman on Wednesday, 39. That's about as warm as we'll get. It's going to be a cold day. However, we stay above freezing. So again, not expecting any ice. There will be some heavier rain rolling in late Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. In fact, Thursday could be a few rumbles of thunder out there. If we did have a day where we could end up with some localized flooding issues, it will be Thursday. That's going to be the next chance for at least a steadier rain. The good thing is, with yesterday and today and tomorrow, all this wet weather's kind of spread out, so that has really lowered the risk for flash flooding, but some river flooding certainly could be an issue. We see that become a common issue, especially each year. Right around February, you get some of these rainy periods that set up. So we'll talk a lot more about the full 7-day forecast coming up right here. Also coming up on Weather Extra right after the break, we'll take a closer look at that icy setup in areas north and west. Stay with us. You're watching Weather Extra.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your First Alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
First Alert, we are tracking
in times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
Having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone.
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
That means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team. Mornings, they're yours. Where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long. With more voices speaking to you where you are, and getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day, Alabama.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Looks like a significant ice threat setting up for areas back to the northwest of us. You can see the composite radar, what we're picking up some of that moisture higher aloft. You can see moving through the state right now. If you look at the radar, you may have checked the weather app and it's like, wow, it's a steady rain, but a lot of this not necessarily reaching the ground here at the moment, but some of these showers will start to move in. But if you get in here really close and we look at the distance, you can see that the winter weather advisories are not far from places like Hamilton. Look at that. We're seeing a winter weather advisory less than 50 miles there from Hamilton. That just shows you how close this thing is, but I think we're in pretty good shape. It looks like the right combination of cold air and freezing temperatures will be happening here to the north. Again, this is an ice storm warning, so what happens here, the thickness of the cold air aloft really impacts what kind of wintry precipitation you get. Sometimes when it snows and the depth of the cold air is deep enough, the precipit's allowed to make it to the surface as a snowflake. But sometimes what can happen if you do have, especially like a layer of warm air that's kind of sandwiched in between, what can happen is the snow falls, it partially melts, and then it refreezes. So what happens, you end up with sleet. But then sometimes if the cold air is very thin right there at the surface, you have precip that falls as rain, and then it falls into that cold layer of air and just freezes on everything, power lines, tree limbs, and that's when you run into some problems. The weight of that ice, it doesn't take much, and it looks like in some of these locations here about a ½ inch perhaps of ice accumulation happening in some of these areas, but around the Memphis and back in towards Brinkley and the Jonesboro area, there's with this kind of ice accumulation, certainly power outages are an issue, and it looks like as well you can have the risk of some large branches breaking off and even trees falling when you have that significant ice accumulation. So let's just talk about the setup here, what's going on around the country. And first off, the overall setup, we've got a upper level low that's back in across the southwestern U.S. This is actually the system that's going to be responsible for kicking all this out of here, all the clouds and this pattern that we're in. This is going to shake it up around Thursday and bring us a pretty good chance of rain. Right now, it's bringing a lot of wet weather that is going to continue there across the southwestern U.S. You can see the track on this. There's the setup tomorrow afternoon. See how that's starting to approach, and out ahead of this, you can see we've got that broad southwest flow aloft that's transporting in that moisture that's overrunning the colder air. That's why we're running into those problems there, that upper level low approaching, and we're seeing that upper level wind orientation. You see all this moisture is kind of lifting in and over that colder air that has settled in, that cold dense air that across North Tennessee. You can see right in here, this is where you end up with some freezing rain issues. And if you are watching for places here around Arkansas and Tennessee, I know we have a lot of folks that watch First Alert Weather Extra all around the country. Just make sure you have a backup, all those necessary items, flashlights, backup heat source, and have a plan in place here in case there are some power outages because of that significant ice. And watch it out there. Of course, bridges and roadways, we know those conditions will deteriorate, but keep in mind, you know, decks and steps and things like that, just be extra careful. Everything's going to be slippery out there with that ice developing during the overnight hours. But that's a look at the general pattern that we're seeing here across the southeast. And you can see further south you go, the air is warm enough to where we're dealing with the rain. But there's that first wave you can see here pushing to the north, and further north where the air is cold enough, at least the thickness of the air is quite thick in depth, and we're seeing some of that snow able to reach the ground, and even seeing a little bit of sleet. There was actually thunder sleet that was reported across the Tulsa area earlier today. So just a wintry mess in those areas to the north. Even shows here possibility some of that wintry precipitation maybe pushing over towards the Nashville area, but you're looking at the setup here for tonight. And let's take a look at the pattern here over the next 3 days across the country. And again, you can see that cold air, it does start to slide a bit further south, and I do think by Wednesday especially we're going to feel those temperatures to the north that may only stay in the upper 30s there during the afternoon hours. But the pattern first off is the way we've got this southwest flow aloft that's across the region bringing in a lot of that moisture. Once we get this upper low that moves across the southeast region and kicks all this out of here. We will have some improvements coming for Saturday and Sunday. It looks like some sunshine back, at least for Alabama. This weekend, we finally break out of the Sunday rain pattern. It seems like every Sunday here recently we've had rain. Well, this Sunday looks much nicer, and I'm going to show you that and the full weekend forecast next in the 7-day as we continue right here on Weather Extra. Stay with us.
Are you noticing mold or discoloration in your shower? Or maybe you just want to replace that old bathtub with something more modern and luxurious? Well, either way, we've got you covered. Hey everybody, I'm joined by BJ Worzen, owner of West Shore Home, to talk a little shower and bath remodeling and how West Shore is making the entire process from start to finish fast and easy. BJ.
Thanks, Joe. At West Shore Home, we understand the headaches and stress a remodeling project can cause. That's why everything that we do is designed to make it stress-free for our customers.
A lot of people don't think of remodeling as stress-free, especially bath remodeling. So how are you making a complicated process easier?
Everything in our process can be done from the comfort of your own home. Give us a call and we'll send one of our bath experts out that has a time that's most convenient for you. And when it comes time for that installation, we're going to send one of our employee installers out and complete that project in as little as 1 day.
So no running out to big box stores and comparing samples and colors and then maybe waiting months for the installation. You're saying this is an all-inclusive process, making it really fast and easy for customers. That's great. Now, BJ, I understand you have a flash sale going on right now. Tell us about that.
That's right, Joe. Right now, anyone that gives us a call, we're going to do free installation on all shower and bath remodeling projects. On top of that, we're going to be doing 12 months, no interest, no payment financing. That means you can get that bath project done right now and not have to make any payments or pay any interest until 2024.
Free installation, that's a great offer. Well, let's see some projects you've done recently.
Absolutely, let's take a look. Here, we were able to completely remove an outdated shower and bath and install something that matched the rest of their bathroom. That low step feature is going to make getting in and out of that shower really easy. And the sleek matte black hardware looks amazing. Here's a few more. All of these were installed in 1 day, and just a reminder, for a limited time, anyone that calls will get free installation on their shower and bath project.
BJ, thanks so much. Folks, call West Shore Home now for this limited time offer. It's free installation on all shower and bath projects. Plus, for limited time, BJ is doing 12 months of no payments and no interest financing. Get your shower project now and don't worry about making a single payment until 2024. Call West Shore Home now.
You are watching First Alert Weather Extra, streaming on our weather app and our WBRC streaming apps. If you have Fire TV, Apple TV, you can find us right there, and also follow us on YouTube. Let's get to First Alert AccuTracker radar, and across the state right now, a lot of the composite radar products showing a little bit of green out there. A lot of what you see not necessarily reaching the ground, but later on tonight, some of these showers will start to work their way in. What you're seeing back to the northwest, we just had a nice little discussion about this before the break. This is all that ice and sleet and freezing rain. That's all going to stay north and west of us. Here's the latest advisories. You can see those popping up on the screen. Winter weather advisories to ice storm warnings. Yeah, you don't see that often. That's the kind of weather that's happening back to the north. Tomorrow, we have a 30% chance of showers, still a cloudy day, a high of 55 degrees. And then for Wednesday, you can see that rainfall chance up to 60%. However, there will still be some breaks during the day. That higher rain chance mostly applies to Wednesday night when that next area of steadier rain sets in across Alabama. So again, during the day, I still think we'll catch some breaks. Let's talk about next couple of days here, and you'll see what I'm talking about here rainfall coverage wise. Here's tomorrow morning, and you can see the showers kind of scattered. It looks like areas back to the north and west, and then the rest of the day, well, there's some breaks out there. It's going to feel cooler tomorrow. Again, could be some 40s in place for the drive home tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, still could see some more showers moving in across the area. And then maybe some breaks again. There's Wednesday morning. You see what I'm talking about? Look at that, 39 Birmingham, 35 in Coleman. Not far from freezing, but we will stay above that critical freezing point. Here's a look at Wednesday at 4:30. And again, you can see some showers starting to show up, and that rain gradually increases in coverage again. Notice the temperatures also start to go up as that system, we kind of have this front wavering across the state. We'll see rain increasing in coverage, and that's why on Thursday for Groundhog Day, we have a good chance of rain. Look at this. That wet weather is going to be with us through noon into the afternoon, so that's certainly going to have an impact on what the groundhog has to say about things. And notice Friday we have a 40% chance of showers. That's for early in the day, rest of the day and into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, highs in the 50s. Looks like lots of sunshine, some big improvements there. If you have weekend plans right now, expecting sunshine for Saturday and Sunday. But talking about the groundhog, have you ever heard of Sand Mountain Sam? I'm going to show you a picture of Sand Mountain Sam and what we expect from Sand Mountain Sam and his predictions coming up. We'll tell you all about it and what you need to know. That's next. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your First Alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
First Alert, we are tracking
In times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone,
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
that means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team. Mornings, they're yours. Where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long. With more voices speaking to you where you are, and getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day, Alabama.
Well, I want to introduce you to Sand Mountain Sam. Yes, Sand Mountain Sam is not a groundhog, but a possum at Bama Bucks. And meteorologist Fred Hunter had a chance to talk with our friends there at Bama Bucks on the prediction and what we expect there coming up on Thursday. But we're looking forward to having that for you tomorrow night coming up right here on First Alert Weather Extra. So be sure to tune in. Actually, we're going to have that coming up on Wednesday. So we're going to be talking more about all the predictions from all of our furry friends out there, from the groundhog to Sand Mountain Sam. Again, that's coming up later on this week. Of course, a lot of rain in our forecast and a lot of clouds. Some folks have been asking me about the comet, which is another story that we've been telling you about. The comet visibility, well, not too promising with the pattern that we're in right now. Hopefully we'll catch a few breaks, but right now the way it looks, actually the peak visibility happens here around February 1st and Groundhog Day. I think Friday we'll have a pretty good chance to view the comet with the sky clearing out. Looks like Friday night. So plan for that. Circle that day. When and where you'll want to look towards the north right there after sunset. Look for that glow. You're probably going to need binoculars or a telescope. And if you can be well away from the city light contamination, you'll have a nice view outside in those rural areas if you can find a good spot. But check it out there. I think Friday's probably going to be our next best day, but you know, sometimes in this pattern like this, you may get a couple of small windows. I noticed today, just as I was driving in, I saw the sun for a couple of moments. It popped through the clouds that were out there today. But again, very overcast, very cloudy setup. As you can see on this 7-day forecast, we have rain chances staying well elevated. Wednesday, that 60% mostly applies to the overnight, the evening and the overnight, as the rain starts to increase in coverage on Thursday. Highs in the 50s, overnight lows in the 40s and 30s. Again, north, it's going to feel much colder. I think Wednesday and Thursday, there's going to be some areas to the far north where we may stay close to 40 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be cold, so plan on bundling up. The weekend, though, still looks fantastic. We got some sunshine coming back. Notice the high temperatures normal high, it's back on the rise. Went from 54 now to 56. So we've actually bottomed out as far as our annual temperatures go. And now we're seeing those averages back on the climb. But we'll talk a lot more about the weekend. We're now officially 49 days away from spring, and we are counting down. We'll show you more tonight on WBRC Fox 6 News. Check in with us at 9, 9:30, and 10. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt signing off for right now, and we'll see you later this evening. Check that weather app. We'll keep you posted.